chit chat for a little bit. Get to know each other for a little bit. Drift.
Drift, my man.
What's your favorite color? Oh.
Drift.
There he is. There he is.
I'm getting a tidal wave of text right now. What,
All right, so what was your first Call of Duty game?
My first Call of Duty game was actually World at War.
World at War? Okay, so you
Yeah.
started not too long after me. All right.
I tried Modern Warfare, the original, but Halo 3 was out at the time, and I liked that like way more. But then for some reason, World at War was fucking sick. And then like I quit video games for like 7 years. I would like randomly hop on Diablo 3 for some reason, like when I was like really bored. But outside of that, I missed like 7 COD titles, and then like it came back on 2019. You play COD a lot?
I used to. I was a big COD player since COD 4. Then all the way up to just before Warzone came out. That's when I stopped. And then I didn't play Blackout because that was the original Warzone. But then when Warzone came out, that's when I hopped back into COD. So I like battle royales more than anything now. I don't like multiplayer games that much.
How the hell did you do that?
Do what?
What?
How did you give her a shout out? You're not a mod.
I just did it.
It could be have it set to everyone. No, Star isn't.
She's a mod. She's a mod. Never mind. She's a mod.
Ah, so she
When
doesn't
did
have
that
the
happen?
title.
Yeah.
It's weird. It usually auto updates.
When did that happen?
I don't know. It's whatever. But I digress. So Drift.
I don't know if are we started right now?
Yeah, we are.
Oh my god.
We are?
I'm
Yeah.
fucking...
No, you're good. You are good. We started now.
Hey, how you doing? Sorry, I'm fucking up already. My bad. I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just trying to warm up a little bit here.
Yeah, man. We
Get
chill.
you,
I thought that Call of Duty question was like
Just a
maybe
general
you'll feel
question.
uncomfortable talking. Yeah, but like we're just
Nah,
gonna
I
like
just wanted to
get him talking. I'm so sorry.
get the feel for you a little bit and try to get like an age without it actually asking your age. I wanted to see where it was.
Oh, I'm old as shit, man. I'm 37.
Yeah,
You don't look it.
A little older than me. You look
I
younger than
appreciate
me,
you saying
dude.
that, man.
I would not guess that. I'm gonna be honest.
No. Yeah, I thought you was around my age. I mean, I'm 32, so I figured 33.
I thought he was a
somewhere around
little
like that.
older
Ahead
than
of you,
me. I
dude.
didn't think there was that
No,
gap.
yeah.
There's like
Yeah.
a 10-year gap. I
I'm
was
like very close to Social Security at this point. You know.
That's usually something people would say to Raider.
Yeah.
I've been getting fucked with all fucking day, like nonstop.
It's real funny because I asked you what your favorite color was and your answer wasn't on yet.
Oh, it's black. Yeah, no, it's black.
Hey,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
See, mine is black and blue, and it's a weird thing. Most people think it's red because of like going to raid, everything like that. It's not. I hate color red, to be honest.
That's me. Like a blood red and black. That's my go-to.
My walls. Yeah. I'm like blue, green, teal, aqua colors.
In between?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the lighter in-betweens. So like the mints and the teals and the aquas, those are the shades I love.
Cool.
You
So what
I
games
don't like
do you guys
really dark.
play? I should have had a reciprocal question then when you asked me what I play, and I apologize. What do you guys play, Mr. Savage?
I play a variety of things. For competitive games right now, it's pretty much just Fortnite. I try to retain from playing those kind of games too much because then it pisses me off. Even though I'm good at the game, it annoys me when I lose. So I just like to play games that are just more relaxing than anything else. So usually I'm on like stuff like Path of Exile or story games. Like I was playing Doom last night for the first time. That was really good. The new one.
Yeah,
I saw Doom came out on Battle.net today, and I was thinking about downloading it. Yeah,
it came out on Game Pass yesterday, and
it's like a lot of metal music, and you just kill demons.
Yeah, it's sick.
It's so fun. It's so fucking fun. I haven't played the new one yet. I downloaded it yesterday, and I started working on shit instead. Because like you've been trying to get me on COD for like 2-3 weeks now.
When did you end up sleeping in the last 24 hours?
I didn't.
Jesus.
Nice. How many C4s?
Only one.
Okay.
Cool. Only one. Rest of water.
Okay.
Yeah. Surprisingly.
I don't drink water.
Hmm?
I don't drink water.
You should probably drink water. You should probably drink a little water, just a little bit.
Oh my god. No, yeah, I should for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
water.
Doesn't
we're all
taste
just
good.
like hydrate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
It's
even
like-
I add like flavors to my water. I add like what's it, liquid IV. It's good stuff. It's actually good for you. It's got like vitamins and minerals in it, but it just adds a little flavor to the water.
Well, that's why I like the
Yeah.
circle bottles, because they have the attachments that have a flavor, and they have a dial
cool.
for how much of a flavor you want or not.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that. That was a thing. That's
yeah,
cool.
and they have different types of bottle. This is their newest one, but they have like normal like looking water bottles too. But I like this one because it's like a straw, so I don't have to like keep tipping it back on stream.
cool. All right, we ready? Y'all good? Everybody comfortable?
Let's go.
Alright. Cool.
That was sick.
I still like that so much.
Are you the one doing that?
No,
No,
it's
that's
easy.
Oh, okay.
easy.
Welcome back to Join the Raid. Tonight we have our special guest, first time ever on a podcast in his life, Driftkills. He's an avid COD player, loves music, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself a little bit more, so we don't have to worry about anything. Go ahead, Drift. Introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself.
Hi. Yeah, my name's Drift. I'm feeling like super uncomfortable, but I'm trying.
It's all right.
Play like a lot of music. I play music. I play Call of Duty, a lot of like FPS games. Not really. I really only play Call of Duty. I try and pretend to play other games, but it's really just Call of Duty. I don't know, and that like some kind of sums up my life right now. Unfortunately, I used to do a lot more with my life, but now I kind of just like keep it simple and just kind of stream and make music work, and that's about it.
Yeah, mellowed out.
Nice,
Okay.
nice. All right, our other guest, Lana.
Yes.
She's on
Hi.
multiple podcasts.
Hi, Lana. How you doing?
Hi.
And of course, the co-host of the most, Mr. Savage.
Nice.
Lolo.
Hello.
All right. Today we're going to dive into something that I usually always try to get people to do all the time, is be more authentic. So we're going to talk about authenticity and being yourself in the modern day society. Thanks, Allie. I appreciate that. And we're going to talk about authenticity versus conformity first. How do you fit in, peer pressure, social media, workplace, and culture? What changes that? What changes do you make to yourself to conform, or do you actually just be completely yourself the whole time? And we're going to do this like a round robin. So we'll go bang, 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 and keep going, and we'll knock that out. So we'll start with you, Savage.
All right. So, all right. Reword or say this question again, just real quick.
Authenticity versus conformity. So, conformity, how everybody expects you and society expects you to act, but you're your own person and everything. You want to. How do you
Mm-hmm.
keep yourself being authentic instead of, being following the wave of conformity?
Okay. Yeah. So I'm pretty much myself all around. I never fake myself, I guess would be the way to express it. Like I never like go around just acting different around different people. Like even if you're someone new to me or a good friend, I never change how I am. I always just act the same way, and it's either A, I'm going to be quiet, B, and then the more I'm relaxed around you, the more goofy I am, and that's just me in general. I never try to. I'm blunt, and I try to be as real as possible. I never try to like sugarcoat things, So I never go around trying to baby people because there might be, how to say this. Some people have a hard time, and they get like a little too emotional when they're told the truth. They can't handle it, and a lot of times for me, I kind of don't. I can't like really hold back. I just say what's on my mind, and I'm very blunt in that sense. And for me, that might get in the way with making friendships sometimes because it might be off-putting because some people just might see that as a little aggressive or maybe might be impolite to them or just an asshole move, but that's just how I am. In the norms of society today, it's different from a while back, like even just like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I think it's a lot different than it was today. And today it's very me instead of the majority of people. It's just a lot of the times people try to just have everyone else around them cater to them instead of trying to be. You don't have to be nice all the time to people, but you can be respectful to people, you know? You don't have to go out of your way to be a dick to everyone, but at least being respectful is a thing that should be more common today, but it's not. Because if you're not catering to every little whim that someone wants, then instantly they turn on you and kind of be aggressive and negative towards you, which is not really a good way to do it, but that's just how I see it, at least. So
I think it's very different in my case. I grew up being a huge people pleaser. I wanted to fit in. You know, I moved when I was in 4th grade, so going from such a big place with a big school and a lot of people to a very small area, small town where everybody already knows everybody, trying to conform and fit in felt like survival in a sense. And then growing up as I have with everything that's happened to, you know, growing more into myself, more confident in myself, and being like, this is who I am. I'm a girl who loves games, Disney, and books. Like, that sums me up in 3 words. And if you don't like that, that sucks, and it's not really my issue. But I'm a lot more getting comfortable in myself and working on myself to not conform. And to be more like, this is the authentic me. And if you can't like that, then I don't really need somebody like that in my life. Because I only want like my support people and the people in my life to like me for who I truly am, not for a persona that I put on to make people like me.
That's good.
Oh, so it's like bang, bang, then bang down. Okay, gotcha.
We'll change up the directions.
That was your roommate whose feet we were watching the other night, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. How's he doing?
He's doing good.
Cool, man. Cool. Nice.
I did
What'd you have, dude?
Chicken and macaroni and cheese. You know,
Nice.
Something
Nice.
simple.
Nice. So it's authenticity in modern day, right?
Authenticity versus conformity. Like, you know, are you authentically yourself? Like when you deal with everything in the social norms, like social media, workplace, and culture, like, you know, or do you conform to how everybody else acts and how everybody else wants you to act?
So I feel like it's actually like easier now, weirdly. When I was growing up and we didn't have like a lot of the internet stuff and people's opinions posted everywhere, you kind of just knew what the norms were and what was acceptable. And like when you were a kid, like you either had like AI shoes, sneakers, right? Or like, you know, certain things that defined who you were, and like you fit into like certain groups, like either jock or dork, shit like that. And you got judged if you went in the opposite direction of anything, right?
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people would probably say like modern day it's hard to be yourself because all this influence and stuff like that. But I feel like now you constantly get to see the other side of the coin, whether or not the other side of the coin is like batshit crazy, right? On any given controversial topic or whatever people think. But just like kind of how we're all into streaming, right? So like,
Yeah,
we eventually randomly meet up by luck and we end up on a podcast, right? And we get to share that. That didn't exist, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
So I wouldn't include the workplace in it as much because work's just always going to be so different from everything else. But I feel like as I've gotten older, all the dorky shit I liked as a kid that I kind of buried and was like, man, no one's ever going to appreciate this or like kind of talk to me because of this shit. Like, as you go on in life and like the internet comes about and all that stuff, like you can find those people. And even if you have like something as stupid as like, yo, Taylor Swift's music is just straight cheeks, right? Like you hate it.
Yeah.
If you had that opinion in like 7th grade in the 90s, right? Like every kid in your school would be like, dude, Taylor Swift's the fucking coolest. What's fucking wrong with you? But you can go on the internet now, right? And you find a bunch of other fucking people that hate that as much as you do. And now you get to actually have a common bond with those people based on that, right? And like build those relationships. And I feel like there's definitely a danger to that as well, right? Because people get to pretend to be whatever the fuck they want to be on the internet. So I'm not sure if it's as much freedom to be authentic as people get to like practice their delusion of what they see themselves as more now. There's so many like different sides to that coin, right? So it's tough to tell you. I feel like it's way easier to be authentic now, but it's way easier to manipulate that authenticity off of things that aren't actually real and manipulate them and make them real. The fake it till you make it mentality is like never been stronger pretty much in like present day society. But yeah, I do feel like it's easier and easier to find people that, you know, you can find common interests with and stuff like that. Whereas back in the day, especially, you know, you're like confined to your school and your town and who you know. When stuff ends, it ends, right? There's no like saving the text conversation or number or like 3 a.m. in the morning, like texting someone and being like, oh, you know, like the relationships end, you move on, you grow. And you're either lucky enough to find people to fit into that or you're not, right? But now it's just way easier to keep connections open and find more new connections and network and, you know, project whatever you need. At least how I see it. I don't know.
Very well said. Very well said.
I agree.
I'm one of those people, as everybody else, as everybody else knows.
Who is that?
I'm big on.
Oh, you were literally in my head. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I needed that.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody understood. Nobody understood what I was talking about when I said she can yell at me all day long, and then and nobody else would hear it. Yeah,
It's like God.
Yeah, but
Perfect.
I try to put my best foot forward no matter what, and be authentic as possible. I know that myself is a weird flavor for most people because I do have that outlandish standpoint all the time of verbalizing everything, and people don't like it. So I curve that. I curve that a lot, especially lately, because some people are one, too sensitive, or two, can't grasp what you're talking about because they take it as aggression. So I try to be as authentic as possible. I try never to conform. But, you know, Lana and myself, we had to conform because we were in the military. So it's one of those things that we didn't have a fucking choice. It was do this or get the fuck out. So we had to. So conformity is one of those things that's been a part of our lives. But when we got out, we got the freedom to do it how we wanted to, express how we wanted to do, and find ourselves, in other words. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Sometimes it takes years to figure it out because we're so used to being, you know, be here this time, do this, do it this way. Don't think, just do what we tell you, and that's it.
Yeah. From going to something that's so very strict to then having that freedom, and you kind of are lost for a little bit. Like trying to re-get your footing to be a civilian again, and to not like having to wake up at a specific time, do a specific job, and just being told what to do and doing it without question, and then just being like, nobody's yelling at me. I don't have to wake up at 0500 for PT.
Yep.
So do you feel like that gave you guys an appreciation for some sense of conformity or seeing a necessity in it in certain ways, being part of something like that?
For me, I gained an appreciation for the conformity of it, and just because you had that camaraderie because everybody was doing it. Every single person was doing it. Every person's in line. Every person did this, and it was, you know, everybody had their jobs and they did it. It wasn't like when I got out and and they're like, oh yeah, you do this, you do this, you do this. And I was like, okay, I did it. What next? And they're like, what do you mean you did it? Just go do what the fuck you want. I'm like, is this a fucking trap? And then, you know, like I told you, like a week, 2, 3 weeks ago about, you know, it's different different camaraderie in the civilian sector compared to the military sector. We had dark humor, have, sexual innuendos, no matter what it is, gay or not gay, and you cannot be gay, and you like look at the guy, he's like, yo, dude, you're fucking sexy as fuck. Just go and keep going. And and for, all the guys that are bros together and everything like that, you kind of do that anyways. But the military is kind of on steroids.
It takes it to a whole nother level. And I tried to explain this to my friends that weren't in, but it's just something that I just like, you won't understand it unless you've been in those situations and you've been there. Like, it is a whole different thing.
Yeah, so it's one of those things, and it's I miss it to a degree, but at the same time, I'm happy to be out because I get to do whatever the fuck I want whenever the fuck I want. And a lot of people say, well, it had to be hard. Like, it wasn't that hard if you had structure already beforehand. It was one of those things that you just had to maneuver and had to adapt to a little bit more. And when you get out, you're just like, all right, what do I want to do today? Like, for myself, they all know me. I'm kind of a workaholic, or have to do something all the fucking time, or I'm always trying to fix something. So it's whether it's like doing stuff around the house or relationships or friendships or people going through a tough time, I'm always trying to do something. And it just makes me feel better. So I do that, and I go above and beyond as much as I can because I haven't found my limit yet. And I'm trying to figure out everything the right way to do it in a healthy way. So, everybody in the chat, if you have questions, just let them know. We'll post it all on the screen.
I think for me, it's similar, but it's also a little bit different to what Terry had went through. I didn't really have like structure, like hardcore structure in my life before I went. It definitely changed me. I definitely love myself a lot more as I am now being through that experience than I was before I went in, because there's a lot that you go through physically and mentally that changes you, but it doesn't just end in boot camp. I think people think, oh, you do that in boot camp and then, you do other training in schoolhouse and then you just go to the fleet, and like that's stuff that you do in the boot camp, and like, just, how do I say this? It continuously changed me everywhere I went. Through boot camp, through MCT, which is Marine Combat Training, through the schoolhouse, into my unit. Like, every place that I went through, something there changed me. Whether it was necessarily for the better or not can always be up for debate. But it basically turned me into a version of myself that I like, and that I think has given me the confidence to start looking for who I am as a person, to start being more authentic instead of doing more like being a chameleon and showing little bits of myself that fit with this one person and trying to please them versus just being like, no, this is me.
Okay. Good points. Drift. How do you think authenticity fosters genuine connections?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
In like the theoretical sense that both sides are actually, in fact, being authentic.
Yes.
You don't feel alone, dude. Right? So like there's someone, I think much like you said with your experience in the Army, right? Is like
Navy,
sorry. I'm sure you guys, when someone didn't do their job, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure it was like soap and pillows every single time, right? But you would get extremely frustrated, right?
Yeah.
And it's because like that connection of there's someone in it with me. And the only thing I can kind of compare it to is like when I was doing music, right? So everyone thinks that's a stupid idea, right? Like when you're growing up, they're like, dude, you know what it is, if you're going to make it and everyone's going to listen to your shit, and they give you the odds and all that stuff. And you have to find 4 other people that are just as stupid as you are, right? And give a shit about it as much as you. and then they have to go through all the shit that's involved with it, right? So like I remember my first year ever going out on tour, I was in this band Driftkills, and they were not like shit at that point. And we actually had this idea to drive across the country, sneak into the first Warped Tour date with like 10,000 copies of our album in a conversion van with like a trailer attached to it. And we would have to go out every day, and our managers, was like, you each have to sell 50 albums a day. So we would sneak onto the tour all together, go inside with the iPod and headphone splitters, and I would be tossing CDs at kids, and they would catch it. And I'd be like, wait, you can't leave with it. Come back real quick. But can you listen to it? Would you and your friend buy this? And you're all doing the same sales gimmicks, shit like that. Then you'd go into band signing lines and sell, and you go back, you hitch the trailer, you do all that stuff together, you find a place to sleep in. Maybe you don't have money for a hotel. You sleep in the fucking back of a Walmart because they allow trailers to fucking stay there overnight, by the way. And all that's very specific shit. There's a certain type of insanity to that, right? There's kind of a certain type of insanity to anything you dedicate yourself to. So to know that you're not in it alone is huge for a relationship with someone, because you're sitting there like, I'm not fucking crazy. There's someone that cares about this as much as I do, and I thought I was the only person that cared about this much, so absolutely, you automatically have a connection to someone because you have an understanding of what the other person goes through and what the other person commits. Just like you understand when the person next to you in the bunk next to you is doing all the shit they're supposed to do, and they're going through it. And you're like, dude, I would literally die for this guy because this guy is in this shit with me doing all the insane shit I would do. And it's not to that level because my life isn't on the line, but that's the idea of finding that common ground with someone is, oh, wow, like I'm just not insane. This matters as much to someone else as it does to me. And now I have a different understanding of someone because I know exactly what it's like to have an interest in that thing or a liking in that thing, or I felt what it's like to come from that place, And yeah, I think that's like everything, for sure.
Military, we call that trauma bonding. You're all going through the fucking
works.
suck.
100%.
You're all going through the fucking suck. You hate doing it. You have to do it. You do it every day. And you make friends with these fucking misfits that you don't even like sometimes. And then all of a sudden you just always have to be around them. So you start to enjoy them. You start to enjoy their company. You start to get used to them. You start to get their wit, their jokes, their ins and outs, and they start sharing. And then you find your people, random as fuck, how it happens. And then somebody tells you, like, fuck that guy. And I'm like, yeah, fuck that guy. And then about maybe a couple days later, you're like, yeah, that's my best friend, Yeah. And we just don't even know it because you're dealing with the suck. Then you PCS or, get out or anything like that. And you just like, I miss that guy. And sometimes you don't see him again. Yeah, we have social media. We have ways to contact them and keep in touch. But sometimes you don't get that relationship back because it's not the same anymore because everybody changes and adapts to getting out. So some people do stay in that mindset. Like, I know a couple of them that haven't grown up yet, but it's one of those things that makes it worth it because I have some of the best friendships from that. You good?
It's a bike outside somewhere. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Cool. How do you guys find the authentic you if you didn't have it for a while? I'll let Savage answer this one.
Well, I mean, kind of like I explained it earlier, I've always just been myself. I have changed over the years, but I've always been myself. When I was younger, I was definitely a more nicer person in the sense that like I would actually think before what I say or what I do, and I'll think about what might affect the other person. and if it might like hurt their feelings or whatnot. But today I've kind of grown to the sense where I'd be respectful to it, but I'm not gonna cater to every whim. But I've always been myself as much as possible. I never really like bite my tongue would be a way to put it. So
I get that. Lana, how would you answer that?
As somebody who's definitely opposite of our lovely co-host Savage, I have never, or well, not never. It took me a long time to find out what my authentic self was, because I was not growing up. I think it took going into the military, going through all of that, coming out, and then having the privilege of taking time to go through therapy, to work through trauma, to work through issues that I have with myself, to start feeling at peace with myself. I think that's another thing, is like just having peace with who you are, your likes, your dislikes, flaws that you could have, flaws that you might think you have that others don't see. I mean, you don't have to like everything about yourself to be an authentic self, but just being at peace with who you are and just being like, this is me. And this is how I present myself.
Need the question again?
No, I think like I've fallen in and out of it over my life. I have a weird tendency to attach like my authenticity to what I do. And I found like so when I first got kicked out of the band I was in, right? I was like 21 or something like that. I think it took me like 4 years to like get over that shit because I had been like building towards that goal for so long, and I thought that's like just what I was. Like I do guitar, and that's what I do, and we either talk about guitar. And I noticed like my anger was definitely crazier when I did that. Like I was like the guy that would throw shit at the drummer's head if he was off time and stuff like that, because I was so dedicated to this is what I do. And
passion, yeah.
I then like when I lost that, it took me a while. You find another band and you're like, oh man, like I'm not happy for some reason. I don't know, and then you lose that one and you get a job, you get a girl, right? You do that stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, so this is who I am now. Like I'm the adult. I'm going to do this job every day. I'm going to go see, live with my girlfriend, start moving on to this chapter. Then like that messes up, right? And you're like, okay, now I don't have the bands. Now I don't have this. What the fuck do I do, right? And I think like at about like 27, because I think of like 22 to 27 is like the schizophrenic years of everybody's life. They're doing like the rat race and shit, and they're more not as concerned about who they are, but they're like, holy shit, Jimmy from high school already has a wife and 2 kids in this fucking house, and I'm sitting here with this, and what the fuck did I do? And blah, blah, blah. As much as you're concerned about who you are, there's definitely a huge concern of like, what the fuck am I doing with my life, right? And then you get past that. And I guess the thing is like, I don't know. I've redefined it so many times, and I've just kind of figured out like what I love. And that regardless of the success or certain things that come with it, these basic things make up who I am. And if I rode them out this long, I kind of look back at the times I didn't commit to them or wavered from them, and I wasn't any better off for those periods. And I probably would have been better off for just staying true to the things I knew I wanted to do. And I still find like even to this day, like things happen that like turn your life upside down. You're like, shit, that was like 70% of what I put my energy into. What do I do? Like, so I don't know. Like, I feel like it's a never ending search because I feel like there's just like so much shit. Not to get like so stupidly existential about it, but like there's just so much shit you're constantly chasing and then like hoping to keep on to. And life has a funny way of like forcing you to redefine who you think you are multiple times, I guess is the best way to put it. Much like I'm sure, again, when you guys got out, it's like, what do I do next? There's no like purpose to this day or what we're going to do. And it's not that you don't know who you are. It's more like, shit, what's my purpose? What's my thing? What is fulfilling me? And I think that's more the thing that gets harder. Is sometimes like my purpose gets wrapped up into who I think I am, and it definitely affects it sometimes.
For myself, how do we find the authentic us, and if you didn't have it for a while? So growing up, I was less confident than I am now. Obviously, a lot of people from the past know. They just ask like, when did you change? And I was like, well, when I got back in the military. And we just went from there. And I learned from being in the military that, I had my confidence. I had my role models, obviously. I had my mentors. And then I became a leader. And it was just like breathing air. It's easy, simple. Like take charge, delegate, and keep moving. And when I got out, it was I was lost cause. I'm not gonna lie, I was lost cause. A lot of them knew me shortly after I got out, and I was a mess. I was a wreck, and I didn't have a purpose. I had a job, and I lost that job because I was not HR's biggest fan, and
Well, it makes.
and
I was just saying that's a common thing though for people that have experienced combat. You're in the zone all the time, and then you come out of that and come home, and sometimes they have a family, sometimes they don't, but they kind of feel lost even if they do have a family. Like they said, there's no purpose. Now what am I gonna do? Because you're not doing that. Now you're brought down to a civilian level. You're not in a military aspect, you're at a civilian level, so there's a lot of things that you're so used to doing that you can't do in a normal sense. So now you're like, what do I do?
yeah, that's when I started to isolate a little bit, and I realized that I couldn't make friends with normal people, and it took either somebody that was a military brat that understood it, or somebody that was in the military, or something like that, to grasp like how I talked or how I carried myself, or why I carried them to such a heavy. It's why I held them to such a high standard on certain things, even some little things. So it was just one of those things. I just like, what do I do with myself? And I didn't escape that until I think 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of found myself a little bit and surrounded myself with certain people. Not all the best. I'll say that right now. Not all the fucking best.
You don't say.
We're not talking about that right now. But yeah, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it off the podcast. And I went down a rabbit hole and trying to figure out what's best for me. And I said, you know what? I wanna go to school. I wanna do cybersecurity. I wanna, learn networking, everything like that. So I did that, got a job at the same time, and it was working out really well. Then some shit fucking happened, lost my job, kept going to school, finished school, graduated, got my degrees, and I was kind of stuck because I didn't know what to do anymore. Because every time I went for a job, something always came up that I had to put myself in a situation that I shouldn't have been in. And I finally, actually, my buddy finally told me, he's like, you need to fucking leave. And I moved to Texas, and my life almost instantly turned the fuck around. And it's been good since then. A couple bumps, but honestly, it's been working out really good. Finding myself to where I used to be Obviously, more confident in holding myself up to a high standard, as y'all know. And I carry that weight all the time, and I hold everybody else to such a high standard as well. And when they're not there, I say it. I do say it. But yeah, I found myself by just leaving the shit show. Yeah. Let's see here. Bill had one.
Mhm.
Let's see. I feel part of authenticity is setting boundaries. How do you all set boundaries, or how hard is it for you to stick to them? For me, it's a slippery slope because I have that perseverance for people, even when I know they're in the wrong. I try to correct the problem to one either one teach them how to handle it for the future, or how they should learn to handle it every time from them. And I get myself in a lot of fucking situations from that, and because everybody wants to run their mouths about who I have on the podcast or who is in the Discord or anything like that. But in my opinion, it's none of their fucking business.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I hold myself to that standard of I'm going to be authentic and I'm going to say, hey, this is a project that I've been adamant about. I've been pushed toward it by people, but at the end of the day, push comes to shove, where are they at and what are they doing to help us grow success and progress? So that's why I will have anybody on here who I think would help the progress, who would give the conversation, who will always do what they need to do. And they don't have to say anything wrong. They just got to be themselves.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Savage.
Yeah, I agree. I pretty much agree with that. Like I said, I don't bite my tongue. I don't really have like a boundary per se. I just try to be respectful and then just tell the truth, like you said. And I'm a very factual person, so I'm not going to ignore things when they can be fixed or helped. So yeah, pretty much that's how I would explain it. Pretty much in the same mindset that you are, Raider.
Yeah. Lana. Hi.
Yeah, no, I'm tired. I know, I am going back and forth between everything. I was paying attention.
Yeah.
It's too much work. I think for me personally, it depends on the situation that I need to set boundaries with. I find a lot of situations a lot more easier than others. If I know that it's going to turn from trying to set boundaries into a confrontation, I'm less likely to do it, and I will just pull back because growing up, conversations turn into confrontations, turn into arguments. It's been my whole life. I don't like arguments. I don't like conversations. I'm working on that to having more adult conversations with people that I know that I can come to an understanding with. It's a very respectful conversation, and we get to the point that we need to get. Sometimes my boundaries have just been straight up cutting people out of my life. They don't want what's best for me. They have shown again and again that they don't want what's best for me, and so I've just completely let go. I think it's just knowing yourself enough to know how you need to set boundaries with people and the best way for you to go about it as well.
Drifts.
Set boundaries with like other people. I crash out. I crash the fuck out. I don't know, man. That's just me. People
That's
don't
alright.
like it, then we don't talk again, and like I just wake up
Nah,
the
you're
next
good.
day. Yeah, I don't know. That's just like I don't know. It's obviously a shortcoming. I've tried working on it, but I will say like I don't just like depends on what you look at as like boundary overstepping. If people try and influence my life in a way where I feel like they are trying to define me to other people or define me to myself and like try and judge the value or merit of my existence and stuff like that, I crash the fuck out. If somebody thinks the new Kanye song is amazing or they hate it,
look,
I'm not going to get into it. I listen, neither here nor there. I'm just not going to crash out over it. That's all I'm saying. I'm just not saying it. Did you hear the new Kanye song, by the way?
I had to fucking slide that shit in there.
I'm just sorry. I'm sorry.
He's a musician.
I'm not going to crash out over that. But yeah, I've always looked at it. If somebody's trying to like impose their will on you and literally alter your existence and the perception people have of your existence, I'm gonna fucking crash out. And if they don't see me anymore, it's gonna be like, yeah, that person said that, but they're a bitch.
So
I agree with that 100%.
That's kind of how I look at it. I'm sorry, that's the honest. I know after a bunch of like existential answers, that's not really the direction to go, but that's just where I'm at. You know,
it's honest. It's honest. That's what I want. And like I told you, like just be honest. Like that's all I care about.
Yeah.
I used to crash out. That's what Lana was laughing about. Very, very, very badly. And it led to a lot of fucking problems.
You still do, but not as intense.
Excuse you? Excuse you? I've gotten a whole lot fucking better.
I'm not saying you haven't improved. I'm just saying you sometimes will crash out. I'm just gonna say it. It's like me with Fortnite. I'm bad with that, but then everything else is fine. Yeah, Call of Duty too. Any FPS game, that's just how I am. But you've improved a lot, so
yeah. I feel like I have. I feel like I'm in. Jesus fucking Christ, motherfucker! They crash out one fucking time away from stream, and they still hold that shit against you.
Man. Oh man.
Do we have another question before I go move on? No? Cool. This is one that I think 99% of people, including people in the chat, need to learn to deal with and how to handle themselves. Learn how do you stay yourself while being online. Because there's that way of being authentic and there's that way of portraying yourself in a whole different light because you have that anonymity, hiding behind a screen name, hiding behind a logo, and that's it.
Yeah.
How do you control that? How do you keep yourself true? We'll go with you first, Drift. No.
I feel like that's what I was trying to touch on in like the first answer I had, because I feel like that is the other side of the coin with the internet shit. I don't know. I just don't believe anybody on the internet. At all.
That's good.
Like, no, I mean, it would take years, honestly. Like, and for a lot of people that have been with on here, I mean, I think I've been streaming for like 2.5 years or something like that. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I just don't like. I feel like I'm a smart enough person to vet information like immediately when it's given to me from someone, and doesn't always work. You try your best. The internet's fucking tricky, dude. Like, again, anybody can literally just
you're not putting on like a facade, you know, like you're not putting on like an act. You're just being yourself. And then if people like it, then cool. That's what you're there for. If not, then okay.
Yeah, I get that. So since the producer wants me to go, I don't portray myself online. Because I have so many fucking issues that I don't want everybody to know them. I let people know the things I'm comfortable with them knowing. Like, let them know I'm schizophrenic. I have anger issues.
Who would have thunk?
The voice in the background is fucking killing me. I'm so sorry, dude.
Say what?
The voice in the background just like right in the middle of what you're saying, just like, really?
Yeah. And everybody wonders why I bust out fucking laughing. Everybody wonders why I bust out laughing mid-sentence all the fucking time.
Bro. That shit is funny.
There's no one there. It's just the voices in his head. You're hearing it.
Yeah.
No, my voices in my head are fucking way nicer than her.
Do you ever at any random points be like, do it, Do it.
Yes.
It's like subliminal messaging.
Yep. Yep. So and I have a lot of problems with depression, things like that, and everybody deals with it in their own way, shape, or form. But I don't put that out there for everybody to see because one, I don't want to be that person to enable everybody to stay depressed. I want to realize that I I had this struggle and I'm doing just fucking fine now. And I want everybody to realize they can get themselves better one way or another, if they get the right guidance and help. So yeah.
Okay. Lana, you want to go? Then I'll go last.
You don't want to go first, next.
Well, I've been going first. I usually love the few, so I figured to say mine for last.
I am very new to streaming.
It's true.
I'm very, very new.
Like, you're not new to online gaming.
No, but I'm very new in the sense of the games that I've played growing up were very family based. Like, it was family time, we all played together, and it wasn't really online games. And then I started actually gaming when I joined the military. I was away from my family. I missed them. It was really hard on me. I got an Xbox and I started gaming with my parents and my siblings. And it gave me connected to them. And I very much, if we played any online games, didn't interact with the people that we could, like, hear or anything. Like, I was just, like, too busy, because we would play Sea of Thieves, too busy fixing the damn fucking boat. Nobody else was fixing the damn fucking boat, and we were sinking. But as I've gotten home and I've made a PC, did he just take my Stitch? He just took my Stitch.
See you later.
Bye. Coming home, building my PC, playing more online games, with it being such a small group in the beginning and not really having anybody but, like, family or family friends, it was a lot easier to just, like, we'd all be in Discord and we wouldn't talk in a game ever, no matter what we played. We'd always only just be in our Discord chat. Now that I have reconnected with Terry and I'm starting to meet more people and game online, and even with streaming, I've made myself, like, rules about, like, things that I won't talk about. Like, I won't talk about politics. There are certain things that happen in my life I won't talk about on my stream, or probably in the podcast. They're just things that don't really care for anybody to know. And just, playing games that I love, like, not letting people dictate what I play. I have my music, so listening to music that I love, changing it as I feel. Like, I'm starting to take some requests for music if I feel like it, but just, like, making sure that this is more of I'm streaming for me. I'm streaming to have fun. I love the games that I play. I'm happy meeting all these new people, but this is a me thing, not really catering to other people.
I get that. Yeah, during your streams, you're just yourself, which is cool because I'm drawn to people that just gonna be themselves and not try to put on an act. And so when I'm watching your streams, whenever I can, you're just being yourself. You're just enjoying your game, having a good time. So that's always good. I'm pretty much the same way. Like, when I'm streaming, I don't put on a show or an act. I just be myself. And if I'm focused, like, you'll notice the difference too when I'm playing, like, like Fortnite games. I'm more focused on that. Like, I'm very focused on getting the next kill, going on, shooting, stuff like that. But whereas other games, like yesterday I was playing Doom, I'm doing whatever in the game, but I'm also reading chat instantly. I'm interacting with chat, and either way, I'm still going to be whatever the emotion at the time is. I'm expressing that emotion, but I'm not going to over-express it. I'm not going to be screaming at the top of my lungs unless it's, my anger. Besides that, though, it's like I'm not going to fake it. I don't feel like it's not enjoyable if someone's just like, oh my god, you see that YY360, oh my, and all the, like, well, they do those kind of things on, like, videos or, like, TikTok or YouTube or Twitch or whatever. They do those, like, fake expressions to get that moment because it captures people for that instant. But for me, I find it like a waste of energy and a waste of time. I just like to see the authentic side of people instead of what they put on for like a show.
Mhm.
And so for me, that's the same way I am. I just whatever I am doing at that moment, that's just me. I'm not making it up, basically. So, yeah, exactly. Or that, yes, chaos.
For the people in chat, don't fucking call me Teddy. I will crash the fuck out on this goddamn podcast right fucking now. End of story. All right, now we're moving fucking on. Now we're fucking moving on. And that's fine. Flip it. I don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. So let's look at the positive aspects of when you find yourself, when you actually are your authentic self. How's it finding communities that align with your values? We'll go with Lana first, since she's the newest to this.
I'm also the youngest, just pointing that out. So I'm still fighting myself. So this is fun.
Thanks, Lana. Appreciate you reminding us. Thank you. We're gonna die soon.
Everybody's dying
Yep.
every day. Every day we're closer to death,
A
so
little more every day.
But we're closer than you are.
who knows? I could get hit by a car tomorrow and die. You never know.
No.
That would be nice. I'd like to be a little feisty old lady. Oh, we got off topic and I forgot what the question was.
Shit.
Sorry.
Finding communities that align with your values.
Oh, okay. Sarah, your community, I mean, it's been so great and welcoming. I've met people. I think now knowing more about myself than I did years ago, makes it easier to like connect with people, to find interests in people, and to start trying to build genuine friendships or relationships, or even just having them as an acquaintance, but building on that, I think, is a big thing for me, because I'm very social, but I'm also not. Like, I'm very social as a person, but I am 100% a hermit. I barely leave my house. I don't really do anything. So being able to meet people through you and connect with all these people and starting to learn things and finding communities where I'm like, I click with this person. This is somebody that I want to try and get to know more and see if we can build some kind of a friendship is, I think, pretty damn amazing. It's all good for you, so just accept it.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we will have a straight up fight here, yes.
Look, you want to fucking fight? We'll fucking fight. We'll figure it out. No. Savage.
Yes. For me, yeah, I just vibe out with people that I know that have like almost like the same kind of like similar personalities. They don't have to be exactly like me, but you know, they have to be able to enjoy dark humor, sexual humor, that kind of stuff. The kind of games I like to play, you know, hang out, play Fortnite, whatever. When I get to like streams and especially like news streams, I always try to figure out what kind of vibes they have going, and then I'll be respectful to what they have going in that kind of, you know, chat. So I'm not gonna be just outlandish and say whatever that's on my mind at that time, because I don't know how people are gonna take that comment. It could be, you know, something that they don't want in their chat or something like that. So I'll be respectful in that sense, but for the most part, like communities like this, you know, we got a good community going, because a lot of times after, you know, podcasts and such, we're still hanging out in Discord, just vibing out, listening to music, playing a game. It's always a good time to just, you know, I think what everyone comes to do after, like, you know, a long day of work or, you know, doing whatever, you want to just hang out and play a game, relax, you know, sit back, talk the shit, do whatever you want to do, basically. But everyone just wants to get away from, like, you know, the world itself and just have a good time. So that's basically how I go about it.
Cool. Drifts.
I muted that for the keyboard sounds. Sorry. My stream is so game oriented. There is nothing going on but the game. And I'm realizing that sounds terrible, but I never really wanted to stream. I just played Call of Duty to a point that I was like, oh, I should stream this. And it's all Call of Duty. I don't know how to explain it besides that. And I don't post my VODs usually because I do kind of say whatever the fuck I want while I'm playing COD. There's
Like
a general selfishness to my stream. Absolutely. As I'm saying this out loud. I just love Call of Duty and that's what I'm playing. And if you want to watch me play COD, I'm glad you came in. If it's outside of that, I'm so sorry for how little I have to offer.
Did you type up a fucking script to read off?
Me?
Yeah, you sound like a goddamn robot.
Because I'm like, I don't know how to answer this one, I think. So I turn into like the clear eyes guy. Like clear eyes for dry eyes.
No, I get what you're saying though. It's like you're just doing what you enjoy. You know, you're playing what you like to play, and you're not forcing yourself to play other things to get like viewerships or whatever the hot trend is that time or that time of the day. You know, like this week is Doom, so everyone's playing Doom, and they're like, oh, if I play this game, I'll get more views. You're not worried about that. You're there to vibe out and play games.
Yeah, my mentality about it was like, if I get good enough at COD, people will just come to watch someone be good at COD that are interested in COD,
Yeah.
And it never really spread out beyond that at any point. I do try and incorporate like guitar stuff more and maybe eventually that stuff, but still that's like a very like, hey, you came into the music stream, buddy. Like we'll talk,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just never looked at it until like, I've been meeting, the more you go on, you just meet people, right? And it develops to stuff outside of that. Like me and Raider played COD like twice, maybe 3 times. But like obviously we talk outside of that and, formed a friendship. Like as stuff like that is happening, I'm realizing more the other purposes of Twitch and what you can do with it. But like I've always been like, until recently, I've been very anti, like, why are you streaming if it's not a video game, bro? And that, I know that's weird, but like, that's just how I've been in my head. Because the only reason I found Twitch is because I wanted to get better at a game. So I was like, oh shit, these guys on here are really good at a game. Let me go learn what the fuck they're doing and watch it. And yeah, I actually didn't really care if I liked the streamer or not. I was like, dude, this guy's sick. Like, I didn't care if he's like, I would just watch the gameplay. Like, even when people were like, dude, you need to have a camera to stream and stuff, I'm like, why? It's not the game, And it took me a long time to like get out of that concept of Twitch, I guess. Yeah.
Everybody in the chat is like, this guy's giving me Summit 1G vibes. That's what we were talking about before we got on stream.
Yo, what the fuck is up, chat? We got a banger of a stream for you today. It's crazy because I literally had no idea who that was until right before this, but I'm glad. I'm glad I remind everybody of Summit 1G. Now I know who he is,
He's a big streamer. He's a big Twitch streamer. Oh, I know. I'm just saying that's just where we're getting it from.
All right. Finding communities that align with your values. I've been in a lot of fucking communities. With Savage, of course, and a lot of people. And all the time, there's always something fucking missing for me that I thought for me. And then I made my own and invited whoever I wanted to. And then we got the owners together. And then we started picking and choosing because we found out that some people belong there and some people didn't really fit in. And they come and go as they please. And I tell them, like, look, you can leave or not. And sometimes they don't like the people in there. And I don't give a fuck if they like them or not. Because I'm like, you can talk like an adult or you can just ignore each other. One or the other.
Yeah, like if you get, like the saying, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Or like, or say everything.
Say everything. Yeah,
but also everything. Like just being adult enough to be civil. Like I think that somehow is escaping people. Like if you have issues with somebody, like keep it civil of some sort. If it's not your Discord server, if it's not yours, keep it fucking civil.
Can you pin that? Terry, I don't like you. Yeah. No, put it in here. I want to address it. I
I
want
want to address it. Damn, just calling you out.
Now, Captain Snooch, I've known you for a while. We did a podcast together too. It was fucking garbage. And it's fucking bad luck. So, yeah, I don't care if you don't like me. I still like you, buddy. And thank you for helping me out last week. But yeah, we're gonna always look for that community that we fit in, right? And
he loves you now, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I think he's all right. I think he's all right.
Lying the whole time. All right.
I think you're all right, buddy. Yeah. I think you're right. But like I tell Lana all the time, like because she gets invited to go many places and everything like that, I tell her to go, and she just like, no, I'm good, or should go, and then she comes back super fast, and in my head's like, that's not enough time to play a fucking game. I do tell you that loud.
I go as I please, and I like the fact I'm in these different communities because I'm starting to get a feel of people to know how much I want to involve them in my life or not.
I get it.
I'm like, baby steps.
Snooch, I'm talking about the podcast me and you did together years ago. That was fucking garbage. That's what I'm talking about.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, the Raider and Snooch podcast. Don't look it up. It's bad luck. Something will happen. You probably fall your chair when you listen to it, like somebody else did. You know, we don't know who the fuck that was. We don't got no proof. There's no video proof of that shit. So yeah, no. So yeah,
that's crazy.
The redeems are not on during podcasts. They're only on during normal streams. But yeah. It's good to see y'all here. It's been a great time. We got a couple more questions, but we're gonna get to know something. We're gonna get to know Drift a little bit better since this is his first time.
Okay.
So Drift, every stream of mine, he comes in. What is it you say?
Say his name and he'll appear.
Say it right. Say it right. No, say it right. Say it right.
It's like, say his name and he'll appear. I believe in Joe Hendricks. Some shit like that, dude. There you go.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I do. Every time I'm in there. I love it so much.
Every single time. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So, me and Drift,
what is that from?
like wrestling. We enjoy it. We talk about the pay-per-views. We talk about, Raw, SmackDown, stuff like that. And it's been fun. Because he'll just message me out of fucking nowhere. It's like, did you see that match? And if I didn't see it, he won't ruin it for me. He'll wait till I watch it. Then we talk about it.
Common ground fostering a relationship because only Raider knows what it's like to be a wrestling fan. And have 99% of people go, don't you know it's fake? Yeah. Don't you know they're not really hitting each other? Don't you know they know who the winner is?
Blah, the only thing is fake is the ending. Like they know who's gonna win, but the rest of it is actually real. The rest of it is all authentic. Like they're breaking bones, they're getting hurt. It's real like that.
Yeah. But even if it's fake, I think it's like everything else, like music, fashion, right? Like Tyler the Creator makes a line of clothes that are exactly like it's called golf. It's exactly like what old middle-aged white dude would buy to go golf. And there's plenty of lines that are like that, right? But because of whatever you believe about Tyler the Creator's persona or character, he suspends your belief to make you think that this brand is not the same as the other brand. The TV shows you watch, like anything you think of, the books you read, it's like this author made me suspend my belief. I know I'm reading this book and it is all fucking fake, right? Read Lord of the Rings. Middle Earth isn't real. None of that stuff happened, right? But the story is so good. I know it sucks. The story is so good that you suspend your belief, right? Of course, there's little hobbits and then elves with arrows that are carrying them in knapsacks across fucking Middle Earth to a mountain and throwing a ring in. Any form of entertainment or like medium of expressions, mostly be just completely created, right, by a person. So it's all fabricated at the end of the day. It's how good the person presented their ideas, made you suspend your disbelief. That makes you go along for the ride, right? Same thing with music, right? There's 100 okay, this band hit. Why don't we sound like them? What do we make to sound like them? and there's 100 carbon copies. If you go to any fucking date of any tour with like 20 bands on it, it's like date, day of month, band name, right? Or like My Dying Corpse, or all the grindcore bands all have the same exact fucking logo that looks like trees and shit, and you can't really tell what the font is. But they have to do something with their music, their lyrics, their message, their entire appearance to convince you, no, we are not sent by a record label to copy the same exact sound of the band that hit 9 months ago. We are different, right? And I look at wrestling the same way, especially because it's such crowd work that's involved in that, right?
Mm.
And comedy, when they're like, oh, this dude draws on his real, you don't know if he draws on his real life experiences for his comedy. He's telling you he draws on his real life experiences for his comedy, and then you go along for whatever he turns that joke into. Wrestling's the same thing for me, except you have 30,000 people staring directly at you, knowing for a fact it's fake, and you have to get them through the 4 hours walking away saying that was entertaining. And then in a sea of first name, last name wrestlers where everyone's just steroided out of their mind and huge, you have to be like, why is my saying, I'm going to kick your ass Sunday night better than this guy's, I'm going to kick your ass Sunday night? Shit like that actually itches, like, it scratches the itch in the part of my brain that I can't explain. Like, I need scratch. Like, it blows my fucking mind to watch people work and convince people.
Yeah.
Like, it blows my fucking mind. It blows my mind with music. It blows my mind with wrestling, with movies, with books. That's like the beauty of the whole craft. You know, whenever you're dealing with selling a service to a crowd, like wrestling, go watch it.
It's good stuff. I used to watch it all the time back in the day.
Hell yeah.
WWF.
Yep. So, Savage.
Yep. All right. So, Drift. I'm curious, since you're big, obviously into music. What got you into that? Like, what was like the beginning that you knew that you had like a talent for music?
That's such a good question. I always really liked it a lot. And when I was going through middle school, I got to a point where I was like, man, I hate everything everyone's listening to, but I really like music.
Okay.
And I would always like, there would be like pianos in people's houses and stuff like that. And I didn't realize like every white key at the time was like, you know, major C, A minor. So like I would find the like bass notes and like chord notes and all white keys without realizing, and like make melodies off it. And I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. And I was like, damn, I hate piano. This sucks. Like, you need to spend like fucking $30,000 and put this in the living room, and like all this shit has to happen.
It's
And,
annoying,
like,
yeah.
You're never going to do this shit. And someone in like 8th grade, there's this kid, Andy Palmer actually was his name. He showed me an Alexis on Fire album. And it had the song Pulmonary Artery on it. That's what it was. And it's a guitar intro on that song. And I heard that song and I was like, oh, it's guitar. And I have to learn how this guy made this. I didn't know this stuff could be played on guitar. I didn't know it could sound cool like this. I've really just heard like Dad Rock or Disturbed or Limp Bizkit. And this shit is sick. And I just listened to it over and fucking over and fucking over. And that was like the onset of me wanting to do it, but I didn't start then. We went on some like Rhode Island trip with the family, and I walked into a place and somebody at school said this band Brand New was pretty good. And I got their album Deja Entendu, and I listened all the way through, and I was like, this is the biggest pile of shit I ever heard. And I got to the last song and I was like, yo, the outro to this song's amazing, because I was in a hotel room in the dark, like in the middle of the night. I couldn't tell what song it was on my Walkman. So I had to restart the entire album and listen to it all the way through. And then like 2 or 3 songs, I was like, wait a second, what's this guy saying? This is amazing. And that was the first time I really thought of it as such an expressive outlet as opposed to just the guitar. And then I was like, okay, I need to go Monday, talk to my parents about getting a guitar, getting lessons, and figuring out how to get a band so I can make shit like this to express to people. Because it was the only time like, I was like such a fucking depressed kid. I think it was the only time I sat there and I was like, oh, I could listen to this album for 10 hours straight and it doesn't matter if a fucking plane crashes on my head. I'm happy. And I think that was kind of
I
what
get it.
did it.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's music is a powerful force. It's a powerful instrument, I guess you can put it that way.
100%.
I love music in so many ways. I'm a heavy metal fan, and two of my coworkers, they both play guitar, acoustic and electric, and one of them's really good, the other one he's decent, but he actually records like stuff and puts on YouTube, and he gets decent amount of like viewerships on that stuff. But it's always cool to it's just cool to see how people like kind of start their journey on it, because it could be like some random thing, you just picked up a guitar and tried it out and you're like, oh, this is cool, or like you like you said, the whole story you just explained, how you came about music. So it's always interesting to see how someone comes about their love and talent for whatever thing they're into.
Absolutely.
Lana.
Yes.
Question for Drift.
Oh, no.
Ooh, I want to make this a good one.
All right, everybody in chat, remember, if you have
Can it
questions,
be
comments,
easy, like,
anything like that, just
Hey Arnold or SpongeBob, which one did you like more?
We aren't live or nothing.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Straight up, go suck a dick. Fuck you.
No thanks. No thanks.
No, it's good. Thank you, though. I'm just looking at my books because for me, books are like that's what's gotten me through a lot of tough things in my life once I actually started reading. So, and you're so passionate about your music. What other hobbies do you have other than music or gaming that have helped you through something in your life?
No, reading would actually be a big one for me.
Yeah, let's go.
I was more into like horror though. Like I've read every Stephen King book up until
Nice.
Bell,
There you go.
and its whole Dark Tower series.
All right.
I think like Ernest Hemingway, Sun Also Rises was a really big thing in my life. Weirdly, that book is about artists after the war not knowing what to do with their lives and getting drunk and fucked up in Spain, or the Piece de Pamplona ending in the running of the bulls. And I related to that a lot. I don't know. The whole book like changed my life, honestly. Kurt Vonnegut was big for me. So like even like the band I was telling you about, Ice Nine Kills, like the name of that comes from Kurt Vonnegut's Cat's Cradle. Ice Nine is the chemical that they make that freezes all water, but they don't know that it's going to not stop because so many things are made of water. So everything that's made of water just continuously freezes and kills most of humanity.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
it's stories like that. It's interesting.
Slaughterhouse-5 is like his time travel Holocaust book, which is crazy to say out loud, but it is like one of the best things I've ever read. I don't know. Yeah, no, reading was huge. Movies are huge. Like I'm big in horror movies, just good movies in general. I'm one of those guys that if you watch a movie, I'll be like, hey, that's the dude from that fucking thing that you have no idea what I'm talking about. But, oh, and look at this. And they must have worked in that movie together. And
I
I'm a big movie.
I do that with specific like shows or like movies that I've watched like my entire life. If I know the actor, I'm like, oh my god, he's from this.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Yeah. No, you're stupid. Go on.
Yeah.
So you gotta go see it now.
So like, yeah, I mean, even with that stuff, like I'm a wealth of useless information on slasher and horror movies. Like,
same.
I just bored the shit out of my coworkers yesterday, telling them how many actors first started in horror movies, like from Johnny Depp and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Johnny Depp. First Freddy.
100%. You get sucked through the bed, dude, and all this blood goes in the air. It's so tight. Yeah, I don't know. So like, yeah, I've definitely gotten caught up with like all forms of like, and entertainment and art, I guess, and all that stuff kind of rides me through. And I think a lot of that just has to do with, yeah, I don't relate to too many people. That's why this whole conversation for like the entire night has been interesting, because the way I view a lot of stuff, I guess, keeps me to myself, and I just try and keep as many things in my life that I can to keep me inspired, and whatever hobbies those are. Um, I pick them up and I try and use them as inspiration and just like continue putting back into them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say that I'm a big fan of horror games and movies.
Okay.
Yeah, and the more twisted and like bizarre things are, the more I'm intrigued.
So
Like
were you like when Terrifier came out, the new Terrifier that came out, you were just like, I gotta see this.
I actually haven't seen the third one yet. I've
Really?
seen the first two.
Dude, you gotta see the third one.
Oh yeah, the third one I hear is actually better than the second one, so I'll have to check it out at some point.
So good.
The first one's really messed up. If you can handle gore, then I suggest you see it, just because it's not so much the story's good, because it's not really, the story is not really that entertaining. It's more of the nonsensical like chaos that happens in the movie. There's other stories that are horror that also is just a good story as well as much as the horror. Like a lot of Stephen King's movies are really good. They're not as good as the books, but they still have a good story to it with the horror aspect as well. So it's like, like I was just reading or watching a YouTube video on the lore of The Mist, where it's like, and that there might be a connection between all of his movies through like that. One of them is like a Project Airhead and all that stuff. It's interesting to see all that kind of stuff. But you give me a good horror game and I'll play it through, and it won't even bother me. A lot of people get scared, and I actually enjoy it. Like one game I suggest anyone to play if you're going to get into horror is Dead Space. It's a very cool, atmospheric kind of thing. It dribbles in fear over time. Instead of jump scares, you don't get a lot of those. You get more of your surrounding is claustrophobic, and you feel like you're always constantly being hunted.
And you're by yourself.
Yep. Yeah. So it's
pretty much.
Yeah. It's a sick game. Story's cool. You're hallucinating half the time. You're hearing things in the background. You're seeing the fog everywhere and blood and guts, and it's just, to me, it always draws me in.
As Metal Gear Solid: Sons of the Patriots. What a great year for gaming!
Yeah,
what a great year.
But yeah, so yeah, I can see that. It's cool. Now your turn, Raider.
My creative outlet is podcasting, editing, going into it, seeing people actually tell their stories and listening to them and trying to relate to them and understand them. It's one of those things. It's like a therapy to me. It's soothing. I love having conversations with people and getting their mindsets and want to know why they think that, or how they think, or what brought them to that conclusion in the first place. Because I don't think most ways that most people do.
Okay. Now, as I say, you can also ask Drift a question since you haven't yet.
My thing was the wrestling
question?
thing.
I'm good. Well, you guys got me covered.
You don't want no more questions?
Producer lady, I see you in the corner now. The jig is up. It's not just the boys. Yeah, but now I know. I
really need to get my OBS set up over here just to record this, so everybody can just see the backside of the behind the scenes of this stuff. Yes, we do. Yeah. That's fine. Let's see here. We covered all this stuff because it just flowed so easily. It really did. I know. I did good. This is a different way I did it for tonight.
I've never done this before.
I know. You did really fucking good. Man. I'm actually happy you did. I got a question for you. We're going to ask it live. Would you do it again?
Yeah, I would.
Did you have a good time with it? Like, did you?
I actually had a really good time. That has nothing to do with it. So it's very, if I'm not comfortable, like this is a first time thing, right? It's one of those things like I'm probably gonna watch back if you post it a couple times and then like judge the shit out of myself, and then regardless of anything you say, make the decision off of what I personally felt about myself during it.
Okay.
Because I'm weird like that, and I'm sorry, but
that's not weird. That's not weird.
yeah,
That's being you. We watch it back a lot.
Thank you, PL. Can I call you PL?
Yeah.
For producer lady?
Yeah, PL
Sweet.
works.
That's sick.
Yeah, Lana, I think Lana's the only one here who doesn't watch the product at all.
I don't.
Oh, you're being like, that's what Danny Depp does. He doesn't watch his own movies.
If I did, I'd probably break something. I can't stand the sound of my own voice.
That's most people.
I can't stand the sound of my own voice, and I still gotta listen to it for a long time.
Yeah, but this is your podcast. This isn't mine.
Hey, y'all heard that? Clip it. She said it.
Yeah, you're the one who keeps telling everybody it's my podcast now, not yours. I'm not going around saying that.
Also, you
True.
You watch my stream rater. I'm usually I have assistants usually, and I didn't want to do that for this. Yeah, because I wasn't like sure how well received that would be. And I also wanted to like give clear answers that made sense. So that fucks my nerves a lot for sure.
Before we do end, Preslin asked, "Did it come naturally for you to get into music?"
I didn't like people, and I came from a crazy house where like if you had a C-, you got grounded for 6 months, like no phone, no TV. I remember specifically like my freshman year, I got a C- in something, and I got grounded for 6 months, and there was like confirmation class, and I wasn't even allowed to go to that because it was known that I would see people my age that I would enjoy. So it did, because it was the only thing I was doing. That and reading were allowed for that. So yeah, it did. And then kind of because of like how quickly I was able to, that sounds crazy, right? So because of how
it doesn't sound crazy,
how
it's
much
just
time I was able to put into it off rip, I noticed like immediate return. And then I think the second I noticed immediate return, I was like, oh shit, this is something in my life that the amount I put in, I'm actually going to get back. And that made it very easy for me.
Okay. That's good. Thank you for the rage, Frank. And I guess we're going to talk here for a little bit longer.
No, that's good, because I wanted to see, like, Drift, if you had any questions for us.
Yeah,
you know,
that's also the other part. You got to have
harder than the answers, dude.
Yeah, and anything.
What are a couple, just out of curiosity?
Say what? you mean help you out since it's your first time?
Wow, that didn't put any pressure on.
Anything that comes to mind.
It could be simple. It does not have to do with the topic that we were talking about.
Whatever you want.
Well, yeah. Okay, so hold on. Okay, Savage, what kind of metal music do you like, man? And how did you get into horror, dude?
Okay, so when it comes, I grew up with my dad, who was a big Iron Maiden fan. I've seen them 3 times now, and I grew up off of that music for the longest time. I was always around him on the weekends, so fixing his car, I'd hear it in the background, and kind of just clicked in my mind. So typically the music I like from metal is around that framework, like Iron Maiden kind of vibes. But my favorite band actually though is Slipknot.
Okay.
Huge fan of them. I've seen them twice. Yeah, I like metal for
Their
like
new drummer's great, by the way.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. But I like the music where I can understand the lyrics. And a lot of like metal can be very, screaming aspect, where it's like their vocals are very scratchy, and as much as I enjoy the beat to it, I actually like to enjoy the actual lyrics, and my hearing isn't the best. So when I'm trying to listen to, I can't understand what he's saying, then I'm like, okay, I can like the beat, but I can't understand what you're saying. Where it's like Slipknot, at least I can understand what he's saying, and so when I can understand the lyrics and the beat, it really pumps me up. It's almost like a form of release for my aggression I have throughout my, I'm always internalizing like my anger, I guess, and through just day-to-day work, stress, whatever. And so for me, metal is like a way to release that tension. I'd like to just hear it and then just vibe out to it. And the kind of the same thing goes in with horror. As my dad, he's a big fan of horror movies. Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, slasher horror movies. I grew up watching those kind of movies, like what's it called? The Hills Have Eyes. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, of course.
Those movies are so brutal, so gory, but I like I like those kind of horror movies. I'm not too big into horror that's like jump scare movies. I kind of find them cheesy. It's like you're just getting a quick like jump scare and then that's it. I'm more of like, the hunters chasing this person, like Predator movies or Alien movies, those kind of things. Yeah, Alien vs. Predator, good movie. So yeah, that's how I basically kind of, I guess it comes back to my dad, really. Those kind of horror and metal is kind of where I grew up on. So
That's awesome. Lana,
Yes.
so you're new to streaming. You don't love the social stuff that much. Why do it? Yeah. Fuck yeah. I love this. This part's sick, actually, dude. I want to be on this end more. This shit is sick.
So I think it's just a combination of a few things. My family has been very supportive, but they're also like, this is something we think you would be great at. I'm medically retired. I don't work. I don't need to work. I get a paycheck every month that covers all my bills. I'm good to go. I think just being able to share my joy of the games that I like and meeting people who have the same interests is awesome and something that I think I need in my life at the moment. I was getting very stagnant in my life and too much of a hermit. So I think it was a great push. And then Terry re-entered my life. We're rebuilding our friendship, and I think that just was the final thing that it was like fate was like kicking me in the ass, and then Terry came along and was like, boom, we're getting your shit done.
Okay, cool. It's like a lot of arrows were leading in that direction, and then everything kind of got lined up.
Yeah, I think it was just from so many, because I've been home almost 5 years now, so like so many times my family's been like, they don't push me to get a job because I got a paycheck, I pay my rent, I pay my bills, I'm all good. But for them to be like slightly nudging it, like, we think you'd be really good at this, because I game with them, they're like, you're just so bubbly and you're just a cute female and you do really good. They're like, you're bubbly. Like, you're bubbly. You're yourself. You like games. You don't freak out at them too often. If you do, it's not as bad as anybody else in the family. And
That's great.
And just like, I think it was just I needed that time to get to that point where I would feel comfortable, and then I did. But then I didn't know what I was doing, and Terry was like, "I'll help you," and that really set it in stone.
Waiting for your side in the comments. All right, Drift, what you got for me?
Oh, man. Man, I was going to say something so fucking weird, and I'm just not going to.
Say it.
Oh, I was going to say, did you come out? It was just a joke. I was just going to ask if you came out, did you come out cesarean or natural birth? And I'm going to move on from that question and ask you something else. Shit.
Natural birth, by the way.
Fuck yeah, dude. Good for you, bro. Shit. Hold on. I'm waiting for the we're live, right?
Say the weird thing.
You're fine.
I love those videos, by the way.
Magic of editing, man. I can take away the gaps.
Oh, I forgot that happens after this.
Yeah.
Could you make me like as tall as here in the editing? Oh, that's a good part to cover, though. I'll take that. Damn. Why won't you play Call of Duty with me? Well, the tough thing is I feel like I talked to Raider. I've met Raider.
Facts.
Shit. Well, no, because it's like either the questions I have to ask are like, I'm sitting here like, do I ask him why he likes WWE as well, right? Or do I ask him if there's days where in the like middle of everything, even though you're trying to normalize everything as much as you can, do you have moments where you're like, fuck all these people, they don't understand shit no matter what the fuck they say?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Go ahead, ask it.
Yeah. It's asked. Consider it asked.
Ask it again.
All right. So do you have moments, even though you are trying to normalize stuff as much as possible and find that purpose in a community and helping other people, where it comes up inside of you, just fuck these people, they are never going to understand where I'm coming from or anything I've been through, and just a genuine like clear moment of just no one's going to get it ever at any point, and I can't relate to these people ever.
So honestly, yes, a fuck ton. Lana Savage and producer lady have to hear it all the fucking time. Yeah, like if you my roommate's like, your phone's always going fucking off. So yes, it is. My phone's always going off because of Discord, because of emails, because of everything else. And I say one thing very simply and give simple direction, and they fuck it up
Yeah.
so bad. And only going in my head is like, that's not what I told you at all. So I take them by the hand, guide them through it, then say, hey, say these words how you'd like to, or handle this situation however you deem fit for it, that fits you and your emotions and everything. Or somebody doesn't like somebody, and I say, have the conversation with them, but they lack a spine or the mental or the intestinal fortitude to actually cross that line because they don't want to deal with anything controversial because they think it's bad. But honestly, and I'm that person that's about controversy, because you don't find out what you need to find out most of the time without a little bit of controversy, a little bit of pushback. Because if it's worth something, there's going to be pushback. It's not going to be just handed to you. So yeah, all the fucking time.
Okay. Do you have like Rambo First Blood moments where there's stuff that's so trivial that people don't trust you with, and you're like, dude, I was just out fucking shooting $500,000 of fucking equipment with 20 people's lives on the line, and you think this is a fucking issue in your day, dude? Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even
I think
can
it's
see
funny.
that. Yeah.
I think it's funny. I can be trusted to save somebody's life and do surgery on them on the spot, but I come back here and people have a hard time just saying, well, I don't like this person. Why? Well, I can't tell you. Then why the fuck did you mention it? Like, stuff like that. It drives me up a wall. No, we're not doing that to him. We're not doing that to him.
Can I just start carrying around Uno reverse cards and like have them on the deck? Because I'm always in
Just gonna
Discord
be like,
with my
trying
thing
to,
up
like-
and just hold it up to the camera.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's, I mean, what I think you're saying, Raider, it's like a lot of people today think of their first world problems as like a huge problem when it's not that big of a deal. It's like very minuscule, I guess. Because they don't see the world through like the lens of everyone else. They just see it on their own perspective. So for you, you're like, what the hell? Like you've experienced the world. You've experienced something that not a lot of people experience. You've had to deal with some shit that not a lot of other people do. And so when you hear people say stupid things, or like you said earlier, where they're asking this question or they're saying this, but then they don't explain it afterwards, and you're like, why even mention it then? It's a waste of your time, waste of my time.
So Queen of Crows is not a lack of empathy. It's the lack of intelligence and the will to actually find the answers most of the time, because most people can be given the answer. Some people lack the chance to get to that point because they're too scared, because they lack the mental fortitude or the intestinal fortitude, or the gall. And I get the fact that there's a lack of empathy in the world, but the lack of empathy in the world isn't the problem. The problem is people's ignorance most of the time, because nobody wants to learn, nobody wants to get to know, nobody wants to actually understand each other.
I agree with that.
And yeah, Kreslin, I guess more worldly perspective would be the correct term for that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I appreciate you, Drift, for coming on. I know,
Thank you guys for having me.
it was iffy up in the air because of so many different things, but it's a great time. You did great.
Oh, thank you, man. And you guys made it real easy, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It was cool, man. Cool talking to you.
No problem.
This genuinely was like a cool time. Thank you. Appreciate it,
man. No problem at all.
Thank you, PL lady. Okay,
for
gotcha.
a few minutes.
All right, sounds good.
Cool.
Sounds good. I'm here.
All right. Let's see. We got to rate out. I haven't seen him in a while, so let's rate out to Bubbaluski. Yeah. Yes, we love Bubba.
Wow, Bubbaluski. Yeah, he says that to me and
Cameraman
her all
for
the
what?
time.
Hold up a second. Whoa. That's an open-ended statement. Cameraman for what? There's a lot of things that can go with that.
You can ask him when you rate him.
I did. And stop.